episode today is brought to you by Enhanced Property Appearance,
Go get your crib painted. Enhanced property, the best in the business, man.
Alpha Roofing,
Oh man, that roof too. I know your roof be leaking when it start raining outside.
and Envision Production Agency.
Got the best pictures, videos, whatever. He pull up on you in a drone anywhere in the city.
Check them out.
It's the Streets to Success with Tone, Frank, Lil, and Tay.
How y'all doing?
Tay, what's up? How are you?
I'm okay. How y'all doing today?
Good,
Welcome, man.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. I think you were our earliest guest ever. I think you
Yeah.
half an hour early. That's great.
Started at 8 o'clock. He was here at 5:30. So yeah. Thanks for coming in. We're excited to learn a little bit about you,
Yes.
your story, a little bit about your background, your upbringing, and where you are today and what you're doing.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So you want to kick off a little bit, Frank?
Yeah, so like usually we just get a background on an individual. Where you from? Your siblings, like how was it growing up in your household and whatnot, and then we get into teenage years later. I know you have a very intricate story, a different story. So we'll let you just start it off of where you were born at. How was life like since you can remember, right? Since maybe you were 3 years old or however old,
Right.
and just get into your story a little bit and tell people a little bit about you. And and we're gonna interject with questions and whatnot. And I'm eager to listen on and learn honestly.
Well, Tay from, I don't know if you consider that North Philly. What's that? 30th and Harper Street. That's like Brewery Town. So they
It's
consider
still
it
north.
North, right? Everybody say it's west because the zoo right there. But I'm from right there, 30th from Harper Street. I was born into a family of, what, 6 of us? I might
6
leave-
siblings.
Might leave somebody out. Apologize. But
6 siblings.
yeah, I was the middle child. As far as I can remember, life wasn't pleasant. Mom, single parent home, mom on drugs. I had an older brother, older sister. They was kind of on the way out the house already. Then I have 2 older sisters older than me. They were maybe about to start high school, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then it was me, and then my younger sister. We were the ones that was, from my point of view, I feel like that was abused. Not saying the rest of them were abused, but we were kind of going through
Got it the worst, bro.
the worst. Like,
Yeah.
What was the age gap like? So you said you had a few older, a few younger, like 5 years, 6
I'm gonna
years.
say my 2 older. They were at that time. They was probably like 18.
How old were you?
19. I probably was maybe 5. Well, when the whole tragic incident happened, I was 7, 6, 7.
So I don't really know too much about the background tragedy and so forth, but
Yeah, so like I said, we probably got it the worst. My mom was getting high, and from my recognition, it was said that we were locked in the basement because, one, she couldn't get high, but I was the rowdy child, running around happy. She couldn't, and then I had a younger sister that was fairly, she was only 5 years old, 4 years old, so she needed attention, and she didn't know how to handle that, so she'll lock us in the basement for her to get high or go do her daily routine. It was rough being locked up.
where were the other siblings at when this was happening? Like the older ones.
The older, well, it was out. One of them had a son, so she was taking care of him at the time. My older brother was living his own life.
Right.
So, they weren't around to really be able to stop her or be around. And if they were, she was hiding it. I remember being tied up all the time, not eating nothing. She would only put food on the top of the step for us. And there's only be like an onion or a banana, and we got to share it.
Like you were in the basement, and
In the
she
basement.
put an onion at the top of the steps. You come
A
up
raw
and down.
onion. at the
And
top.
was she in the basement with you, or she was upstairs?
Me and my sister.
You and your sister. Your mom was upstairs.
Mom
She
was
put it at the top of the steps.
Right.
Your food's here. Shut the
And
door.
she'll lock the door and put a deep freezer. You know, our deep freezer.
Yeah,
is
you
heavy.
can't move, especially when you're younger.
So we put a deep freezer in front of us so we can't get out.
How long did this last?
Um,
Like the time frame, like was it like we'll lock you down, she'll lock you down for a day, or was it like for a week? Or
I feel like it was months. I'm talking about like even if we're not in the basement. I remember this one incident. She tied us up, right, and left us. Somehow, some way, I got out. I don't know how I got out of a hog tie. I got out. And we talking about what twine rope, that brown thin rope you use for. I got out of it. I got her out. So, we run around the house eating jelly, mayonnaise, bread, butter, and we talking about frozen butter. Like I'm biting, like we hungry.
At this time, what age do you think you were?
I'm probably like maybe 5. She
5
probably
years old.
like maybe like 3, 4, maybe. Then I'm eating raw syrup. Now I gotta tie her back up and tie myself back up so we won't get caught.
Yeah.
That's impossible to do. So
All at 5 years old, you're thinking like now as you're older and you're thinking back on that, like, did you end up becoming like thinking back on? Were you like her, almost like her parent? Like, were you parenting your sister?
I can't. So at that time, I tell everybody like I didn't know what anything was meaning.
Right.
I didn't know what love was. I didn't know what hate was. I didn't know what, as a kid, you get to understand, oh, mommy loved me. Or, you get to understand certain stuff. I didn't know what anything was. If I heard playing outside, I didn't know that was playing. I'm like, what the kids out there doing? What's that? I hear the ice cream truck. What is that sound that I hear every day around this time? Or, so, I didn't know, I didn't have that bond with my mom to even know what taking care of my sister was. So I guess that was probably like a natural
Right.
Instinct.
natural instinct.
That's I'm tired. Let's go get some food. Like let's try to eat. You know what I'm saying? So
Where did you go to school or anything? Like at your 5 and 3 and
I remember going to school, and I remember a faint period. Like I was there. I remember one day. I don't know if y'all remember, but like back in the day, I guess we was able to put change inside of the water, like a jug for like the end of the week. You get candy or pizza or whatever. Instead of me putting money in there, I stole it. I stole half the jug, put it in my pocket, all change.
Yeah.
I'm coming down the street.
pants falling down?
Somehow, some way, by the time I got from the school to the house, my mom was outside with a belt. Whooped me from the time I got from the middle of the block into the house. So that's the only time I'm me going to school. I don't remember.
One day?
That's all that I remember is that one day.
Wow.
Now after I left and went to the foster home, I remember going to school. But like at that time, no school.
So what other type of things did you like? Did you get beaten for no reason? Like tying up is like torture. Like you were getting tortured
I'm
at that point.
Talking about
Just-
tied up, or we talking about as far as not eating to where,
How were you using the bathroom if you were tied up and locked just on yourself, or?
well, if in the basement, we go behind the steps or in the bucket, and we, like a dog, cover it up.
Did you get in trouble? Like if she found it, like if you went in,
She was never really coming down there. The night before my sister died, I remember cleaning the basement up. I'm talking about like cleaned it up, cleaned up all the bones, all the dirt. It was spotless. We playing around. It's like we was able to see outside. It's like this. It was like this time, sun going down, the orange is shining through the basement window. We playing around, and I remember this one night when we sitting on the step. She's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, well, go in the bucket. I'm like, so what you got? And it's so crazy how you like, what you gotta do? You gotta go pee or you gotta go? And she had to go to the bathroom. I'm like, it's gonna stink. You know what I'm saying? We don't. I don't know if I actually said them words, but I said we don't want that smell or whatever the case may be. And yeah, that night, that morning, I woke up, she was dead.
So how did she die?
Starvation. Not eating.
Can't
Right in her sleep in my arms.
and I don't know if this is a scientific fact or whatever. I know you can go without food for a certain period of time. I know water's like a couple days, but
But-
food's like weeks.
But even as far as you got to think about as a
Kid.
kid,
Yeah.
like we're not naming it as an adult.
4 years old.
We talking about a
Talking
kid
about-
that's like
Yeah.
3, maybe it's not even. They didn't even start off probably eating the proper food as a baby should be eating.
Yeah.
So for her to get starved at 3 or 4, it's like, oh, we ain't gonna last too long.
So
And
that
I
was
just happened to make it out. They said I probably had another month to a couple months left before I would have died.
Man,
'Cause
that's like
I was that skinny.
it's the most probably horrific thing that I could tell you I probably have ever heard.
and I don't want to
But digging,
compare it.
No, go,
but
I'm
like
sorry.
that's like you don't even do that to a dog, like an animal. Like
Right.
animals, this is stuff you see about with like animals. This is an actual human being. This is your sister. And you said you remember the night before was
The night before, and then the day of was like, boom. All right, I'm tell you what happened. I woke up because the basement door closed. I seen an onion up there. I run up there. I say, Shanae, come on, some food. She ain't move. So I go back down the steps. I'm like, damn, why she? I didn't kick her, but you know how you just like lightly push
a
somebody.
nudge, like a nudge.
She just tumbled down the last 3 steps. Like, at that time, you don't really realize if they're dead or. So I go down, I'm waking her up. She's not moving. Remember I said there's a deep freezer in front of this door. I broke that door and got through that deep freezer at, 7 years old, probably 75 pounds, soaking wet.
damn,
Mom, Shanae's dead. She didn't really, if you say that to a parent, they might pass out before they get riled up because she didn't even probably really flinch, but really got up. This day was my 2 older ones, right older than me. They were going away for the weekend. And she told them, don't tell them what just happened here. So she tried to make my sister go break the basement light, but she couldn't reach it. Told her to get a spoon, wasn't a spoon. Still couldn't reach it. My mom came and broke it. The last thing she told me to do was take this black bag down there, put her inside this black bag, and drag the body to the back of the basement and put it under the water heater. And they only knew there was a female by the teeth. That's how much of decay she was gone.
wow.
How long was she down there? How long was she down in the basement before anyone found out?
I can't even tell you however long it takes for a body to decay, however long for them to tell us we only knew it was a female through the teeth, not through nothing else.
Were
through
you
the teeth.
still down there throughout the whole time, or she
So
finally
once-
took you out of the basement?
When she did that, she had me wash up. It took her 10 to 15 times to wash me. That's how dirty I was. She cooked fried chicken. I remember that day. And I remember, I don't know if it was that morning but I remember a morning she told me, like, listen, whatever happened, don't never tell. Don't never tell what happened. I'm always gonna love you. As a kid, I'm like, all right, well, I got you. And my older sister must have came to the house and smelled the decay of the body, and I saw what happened. They came out, put us in the back of the squad car, and
Now, after that happened and your mom took you upstairs, she got you washed up and all, feeding you regular food, it seems like, did she, you feel like she was acting like a mother more? Or,
I don't know what a mother was. I wasn't even, like I said, I don't know how a mother was supposed to be.
but there was a change of behavior, though.
Right. Like, the talking is nicer. It's not screaming. It's not harsh. It's a calmer, you okay? Or go sit down.
Do you think it's because she probably wanted you to keep your mouth shut?
That's what I was going to ask. You think it was because of that or because she really felt bad for what happened to your sister?
I think it was probably, I thought maybe it was more so she was in shock of she had a dead body on her hands. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, what right person in the right mind will, oh, I got a body in the basement. Okay, let's keep it. No, you're going to be, you're going to be panicking. But like you said, it was probably that also as well. Like, all right, no, if they come and get us, he can't say anything. Like, I want you to not to say anything. And to fast forward, I was like the main one. We all had gotten the stand, but when I got on that stand as a kid and they asked me the question, was like, and my mom was sitting right here and she's mouthing to me like, don't tell. Like, and she's crying. It's like, dang, like, who should I listen to? My mom or the judge just asking me this question?
About your sister. So I got 2 questions real quick. The first one is,
And I got about 40.
where was your father? I know you said your father was in your life. Do you know where he was at or who he is even?
Nope.
You don't know who your father is still to this day?
To this day.
And you never heard stories about him, know his name, anything?
We know the name. I forgot his name, but we got to find out, like, me and one of my older sisters had the same dad. My older 2 siblings had the same dad. My 2 younger sisters had different dads, I think. I don't know. It's a lot, but
Yeah.
Just to,
Go ahead.
when you think about, like, now that you're a little bit older and you think back on your mom, like, you actually said, like, what person in their right mind? So you would know, like, you would agree she was not in her right mind. You know, not
So-
to justify it, but
as I got older, and when I was got into the streets and I started doing what I was doing, I got to understand, like, I knew what this drug can do. Like, I felt like I had power. Like, oh yeah, I got this drug, I can make you do anything. So when I got locked up, it dawned on me like, oh, maybe it wasn't. I can honestly say maybe you weren't in your right mind. It was half part of the drugs. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to go back even a little bit more. You said your older sister came, she smelled the body. Now you're getting into a back of a paddy wagon, right? You don't know what's going on, what's about to happen with your life from this point on. So what was, after the paddy wagon, where did your life go after that? What was that whole process like, and how does it go from there?
I went from that paddy wagon to different foster homes, moving around.
Now, what's a foster home? Obviously, we know what it is, but like, what do these foster homes look like? How do they treat you there? How do you feel about being there?
I went to like an actual like family home, not like a group home type of. I went to actually somebody
Family that took you in.
took me in until they could have probably adopted me, and I remember just going to this one, and it was just like I felt like they was rich, but they kept me tucked away. Like I remember this gold, like a gold hallway, stairwell. Like
how old were you?
probably like 7.
7.
So like them stairwell, pictures everywhere. It's like they had money, but they only kept me in the room. They didn't bring me out. I didn't go to school. I didn't eat with the rest of the family. If I don't know how the family even looked. I can't even tell you how they looked.
Were they white? Were they
I
black?
don't even know. I always look back and like it was at that. It's a blur. I'm saying it was. I just lost my sister. She died in my arms. So me going through that trauma alone.
Yeah.
I'm still lost of wow. My sister died in my arms. Like, so I'm remembering like all right. I went to this foster home. Then I did go to another one.
Did they take care of you though? Like, were they feeding you and
They was
stuff
feeding
like
me,
that?
but like again, it was like they fed me, but kept me in the room.
It wasn't like you were a part of their family.
Right.
Yeah. And then they took me from there and took me to another one. I don't know where they were, but this one I particularly remember because it's uptown, and I drive past there almost every time because I went to that school. I'm like, dang, my mom and dad got me from right here, and they adopted me. So it was like, all right. But that family was like, I'm going to school, I'm fighting every day. I didn't play your mama jokes. As soon as somebody said that, I felt like that was a direct shot at me. Like, your mama what, bro? Like, what, you know me? Like, I feel like you knew me.
Yeah, took it personal.
Right, because, you know, I just went through this tragic situation, so, your mama, what? And I'm fighting, biting, suspended. And then I remember one day, the parents who had me, like, you're leaving. And my adopted parents now picked me up.
So how many?
No, go ahead, buddy. John.
So how many foster homes were you in and out of?
The ones I can't remember two. It could have been more. I mean, it could have only been them two, but I remember those two specifically.
Ages. So like, when you left the one foster home, you said you were 7 for the people that sort of alienated you. Then how old were you to the next one? To the
I didn't get adopted until 2000, so I was born 90, so I was probably like 9. So I think I was like 9, 10 when I really actually got adopted.
And in that process, are you in a home or are you at that one individual's house?
So once
still?
I left the one that was uptown, and my parents that's now came and got me, it was a surprise because they had my 2 younger sisters that I haven't seen in a minute. So they had me, my 2 younger sisters, and they had a whole nother family, a son and you know, 2 girls and a boy. And they adopted all of us, 6 of us.
6 of you.
They adopted that family and ours, and they did it because they wanted to keep us together. And yeah,
Are you close with them still?
yeah, my 2 younger sisters or the family.
Your family, the whole.
Yeah, we all of us.
Oh, nice.
All of us close.
What about your 2 younger sisters? You
Yeah,
still
all
close
of
to?
them. Yeah, we all. I mean, can't
So-
separate us.
When the trial took place for your mom's trial, do you know if it was years later, months later? Do you remember where you were staying at?
I was living with my adopted family,
Not the
one
one
that-
permanently.
right? And I remember that. Looking at it now, so I was like a superstar. You ever see like when they go paparazzis, my mom and dad throwing blankets over me and stuff over me so they can try to block
Protect you from the media and stuff.
And that was like for like a week straight, like a week and a half straight. I'm every day I'm going down there, and you know I didn't know what was going on at the time, but then you know coming home and watching the news, like you know they didn't have cameras in there, so it was cartoons sketched out. And I'm seeing,
right.
and I'm actually getting to see like my mom sketched out, or I'm sketched out, and they talking about what's going on. I'm like, wow, like.
So how did it turn out for your mom?
She turned out, she got 28 to 56 years.
This was in 2000.
This is 2000, maybe probably like 99.
So
98,
she's
99.
eligible for parole in a couple years.
Yeah, she's eligible on parole, or if not, right now. I think I was looking at it like 2 weeks ago. My 2 older sisters, you know, we was looking at it. I think she had a parole number, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think she got paroled. She has like a number for I guess about to call her up or whatever.
Okay.
So
Is there any like contact with any of the siblings to your mom, or is it?
you know, I don't know. Maybe my oldest, but we don't know. We don't really deal with her like that.
Right.
So go ahead, Lo.
So when your mom finally does walk out those gates, like what do you think? How do you think the interaction is going to be? Like what you think you're going to say to her? What you think she's going to say to you? Like after all y'all been through?
If there is an interaction.
Yeah, if there is an interaction.
So before I answer that question, right, in my route of being in jail, I was on RIP. I had to go to Montgomery County. Long story short, I'm going back to my jail out, and you know, if you go on RIP, you see females. They're on the other side of the
What's
van.
RIP?
RIP is when you're leaving one jail to go to another jail to handle a case or.
They're
whatever you got going.
they're
Okay.
transporting you to another jail for court, basically.
Okay.
So I was leaving Montgomery County, and the females got onto the van. You know, we in jail. I'm trying to talk to them. Yo, what's up? So I'm talking to one of the females, and I'm to my 360. It went from, yo, what's up, to, what jail you going to? Oh, I'm in Cameron Springs. You know my mom? Who your mom? Oh, Charlene. You see how quiet it is? Right? That's how it was. She's crying. I can't see her, but I can tell she got the ugly face over there. She's bawling. And she's like, yeah, like I knew your mom. Like your mom always talked about you. talked about y'all, how sorry she was, and how she wished things could have changed and this and that. There, I'm talking about it's a 5-hour ride from Montgomery County to Cambridge Springs. The whole 5-hour ride we talking, and we both crying. We both end up crying, like. So to answer your question, knowing that me knowing that she's at least talked about us or said something about us, the reaction would have to be like I tell everybody, I would have to see her in traffic, meaning like walking. Like if I catch her walking, let's say right now I leave here in shocks, Mom, or yo, oh, what's up? Oh, how you doing? It can't be like how we're doing. So I wouldn't know what to say. I wouldn't know what would the first thing be.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it would have to be, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing all right. Listen, all right. And then it would go off of, that's how it would go. But I don't have any ill intentions to her. I don't have, because like I said, I've been in the streets. I sold drugs. I've been around people that took this drug, and I know what it did to them. I know they had a family and home too. So I kind of understand that it's not your fault. But I just wish that the people that was around that wanted to help you took their help, because there was people around that wanted to help you and help us. So
you don't got no animosity. Sorry, Tony.
Okay, bro.
You don't got no animosity towards her. That's what we're saying, right? How about, do you know if any of your other siblings are holding any animosity towards her?
it's a funny question because I was with my older 2 sisters, not last week and week before last. One of them came down she lived in Lancaster. She came down and we met up, and we was having this conversation, and they don't really have no emotion towards it for real. I think I'm the only level-headed one out of all of them, like, that's willing to probably talk to her for real. Like, my 2 youngest ones, they were young for real, so they don't really know what really happened, but you would ask them, they'll tell you they don't really care.
Yeah.
But
They're younger than you, right? So just a few questions. We're jumping all over the place, but we do these things organically, so we don't have like a script. So you said a few things. So just about the younger ones, where were they at when this was happening? If you and your sister were down the basement, where were they at?
they were, I can't even tell you, like, when I tell my side of the story, or when I tell the story, I always tell people, like, or I always tell my sisters, I don't want them to think that I'm taking, quote unquote, the shine away from them or the trauma away from them. So if you were asked them the same question, it would mirror mine. I can't tell you where they were at. So if you were asked, Gwen, where were you at during this time? She would give you a whole different, you would be like, dang, that's what happened? Like, it would really be a whole different story from me.
Yeah. It's all got your own perspective on it,
Right.
your own experience
Or if
on
you
it.
ask my oldest one, she'll tell you a whole different, because she was older. So it was like, I really don't know. I know they were younger.
Right.
Where they were at, I'm sure in a house somewhere, not
In a different room.
taken care of.
Right.
But, you know, they don't really remember the actual, like, trauma that we,
Why
the
do you
oldest
think?
ones
Why do you
remember.
think you two particularly were the ones that locked in the basement? You and your youngest sister. Was there a point where it was more yous down there, or
No,
it was always you two?
I think, like I said, it was only because she was a crybaby. She was a crybaby, and I was
The hyper one.
if anybody know me, I'm the one that's always biting, laughing, playing around. So it's like, yeah, she couldn't get high. She couldn't take a crying baby and one always running around and can't sit down. And
What was she doing? What kind of drugs? Do you ever
Crack.
Crack.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and I never sold crack. I did, but not like that. But just being in the streets in general, I can have marijuana. Somebody's going. I can have somebody do anything that I want for this drug. So I can only imagine 90s or the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, how it was a big thing back then. So I can only imagine what you was doing, jumping through hoops and windows for that. So
where did you ended up? Foster family, foster home, and then you also mentioned about like you getting in the streets. At what point did you decide to, like, how old were you when you went in the streets?
So I got adopted to relatively good family. My adopted pop was he's from Southwest. Mom, Island East section of Philadelphia. Christian, raised us well. The reason why I think I wanted to get into the streets, when I'm going to school, I feel like they showed us a little bit too much. So if I'm going to school with y'all and you going out with your friends, you able to go to play ball, and you going to your girl crib, and I'm always in the house, and we all the same age. I want to know what it's like to go into that club. I want to know like playing ball until 10 o'clock at night. I want to know what's going on. And
Curiosity, you can say?
That's exactly what it was. And it made me
Gravitate towards certain people and feel like a part of something too?
to where, like, you know, at that time, MySpace was up. And
Top 8s and all that.
and at that time, my dad, he was a principal in Philadelphia. So it was kind of more of a, all right, he's a principal. He's a principal in Philly. We go to school in the county. So he's feeling like we should kind of know, like, he don't do MySpace or he don't do that type of stuff.
Wait, so your foster family lived in what, Montgomery County?
Montgomery County.
Okay.
So, you know, it was kind of like, all right, we should be on the type time, like, they raise us a little better. They're not going to allow certain stuff in the house.
Yeah.
But, again, if I'm older and I'm going to the school and everybody in school got MySpace, and I'm going to sneak on the computer and do it.
Yeah, you want to see what it's like.
Did that. So I kind of got kicked out / ran away. And then I became homeless, 15, 16. I'm running the streets and
So you were in a bad situation, got up in a good situation,
went back to a bad.
went back to a bad situation. Now this time it's more self-inflicted, you can say.
Right, because I wanted to see what it was on the outside. I'm saying I know
and,
that.
And from being in the streets, there's a sense of excitement to it, a little adrenaline, and it's fun. It's unpredictable what's going to happen next.
Right, and you know, I know that me being in the streets and staying home with them wasn't going to mix. That was water and oil. That wasn't going to mix. I know that wasn't going to be have my cake and eat it too. I can be in the streets all day, run around, smoke weed and do all that, come home to your house where I know that wasn't going to work, so I just stayed outside and I cut my streets in the streets and home. I never went home though. That was the only thing. I just stayed into the streets. Like anybody that knew me from, I want to say like 2006 until like up until I came from jail 2018, you probably thought I had somewhere to go or I was homeless. People don't understand that. I was homeless the whole time. You see me out running around, chilling down the way. I didn't have nowhere to go for.
Were you staying on like
I
friends'
was
couches?
staying with my man that passed away. So if you strip that away from me, strip the money we had away from me, I didn't have nowhere to go. I'm
You
saying, but
didn't have nowhere to go, or you didn't want to go anywhere. Like, did you have places and you just decided? Because I think there's a difference in those two things. Like,
Like you could have went back home if you chose not to be in the streets.
Right. So that was something I had to choose. Was the streets more important than going home? And I guess I picked the streets. And by me being in the streets, I didn't have nowhere to go. So it was kind of like I don't say it was nobody, it was my fault. You know what I'm saying? But again.
would you do it all over? What would you do differently now if you can go back? Like, seeing this now, looking in the rearview mirror.
What would I do differently?
Yeah, like, do you think you would go down that same path of staying in the streets and stuff like that?
I don't regret doing it because I was able to learn what I learned from it. So I was kind of happy I went through it because I needed the street smart. Being the world we live in now, I can't just have straight book smart and nothing was going on in this world. So I don't regret going to the streets, but if I was able to probably do it a little bit differently, I probably would. But
How old were you when you started to get in trouble? Or started to get the run into it with the law? Like get
first
arrested
time
and
I ever
stuff?
got to jail was 20.
Okay.
I didn't go to jail till my first time was 20 for something I really didn't do. You hear that all the time. I really didn't. Like, this was the most craziest thing I ever heard. Like, yes, I was high, but still, I know I didn't do this. Like, they said I robbed somebody for $20, 2 tens. and a pack of cigarettes. Now again, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I was high on Xannies. But I know for a fact, but I didn't. And there were Caucasian people in the hood, so like, bro, they chilling. Ain't nobody messing with these folks. So I know we didn't do this, and it was just like I beat the case though. Like I beat it.
You sat, or you got ROR?
I sat with my mom and dad, and this was the first time that they came to my rescue, being in the streets, not being no contact with them. I don't know how my mom found me.
How old were you?
20.
20, right, 20.
Yeah.
But you left at 15, 16, so you're 4 or 5 years out with no contact at all, not even like a check-in.
I wasn't even, because looking back on now, at that time, I was just so, I didn't want nobody to say anything to me.
You ain't want her to grind up.
Right, or I didn't want to hear, come home. Like, come on, you ain't got, I'm outside.
Did you know it all?
At that time.
Yeah, you know it all.
I mean, obviously I didn't because I was homeless. I'm doing homeless shelters. I'm saying.
But it's interesting because you're hard-headed. Like, it's like that narrow-minded, hard-headed, like,
I don't know if
it
he
all.
think he knew it all. Maybe he just didn't care enough.
It could be everything. It could be he thought he knew it all. He obviously didn't know anything if you look back on it. I mean, you knew, like, what you got through and how you got through it, but...
Sitting back, you don't feel like, sorry to cut you off,
Yeah.
and I'm just thinking, like, these people took you in open arms when, you know, you went through that horrible situation, and you kind of turn your back onto them. So you don't feel like no type of way about what you did when, you know, they're trying to guide you and help you go in the right way. Now, as a grown up, as an older
Oh,
person.
I mean, yeah, now, of course, I'm like, I'll use everything they say, every saying they got, I use on my son. Everything they taught me, I use, like, from mannerism, from being here on time to, I still always kept that in me, even though I was in the streets. I always kept what they taught me, no matter what. I never lost that. I always was a respectful person. Even I don't care if I stole from you, I sold you 100 million drugs, whatever. I still was always respectful, or whatever case may be. So at that time, like, man, I'm trying to be outside. Y'all keep trying to hide me in this house. I'm trying to see what's really going on out here. Like, everybody come to school with new this, new that. They went to the movies. They did. I'm of age where I should be able to do that type of stuff, and it was, you know.
Do you think that your parents were doing that to somewhat shelter you from maybe a crowd that you were going to go and hang out with? That was more like trying to keep you closer to not get in trouble versus...
I think it was more like, they know where I came from, what I've been through, and they didn't want me to try to kind of fall back into that or see it until I got a little older, but it was inevitable. Once you get, I tell my nieces and nephews and my homies now, like, the influence is greater in schools than it is at home, because you have different people in there.
You want to fit in.
People's parents are different than my parents. Your parents might let you stay up until 10 o'clock. I'm in bed at 8, but you might saw the new Blue Street. I ain't catch it. Or you probably saw the HBO, you know, late night special, whatever the case may be. I was in bed, so it was just like, dang, why am I? How they?
Like you caged a little bit.
Right, so.
Do you think a part of that too, bro, was from all you knew was pain when you were living with your biological mom, and like you didn't understand what love was from them?
I think they did an excellent job by instilling that in us. Like, they definitely, because even how we are with each other now, we got that from them. Like, how tight knit we are with each other. Like, and it's funny because when we talk on the phone with each other, we use the same sayings even with each other from our mom and dad. So I think they did a good job teaching us that. I think it was just a matter of we wanted to really see what's going on out there. Like,
So, about your criminal activity, right? You get locked up for a case you didn't do, a robbery or theft.
right.
And then I heard you say you did some time upstate. So how is this going? Like, you're in the streets, you're staying there, you're catching case. They came and got you. You beat the case. Now you're going back out to the streets again.
After this,
How is, like, these crimes taking place until you get hit with some, like, real time?
well, I got bailed out, tried to keep me in the house, left again. I'm back in the streets. I think my next time I got locked up maybe 2011, 10, 11, around that time, for a burglary. Dumb. Fingerprints in the window, like this.
Wasn't you?
Wasn't me. The only reason why they knew it was me was because it was a cop that worked at this high school, and when they came back at the station, she overheard my last name. It being as though she knew my last name from my brother and my sisters and all that. She knew, oh yeah, I know the family. I get a phone call from my mom, from my sisters, yo, the cops are looking for you. I'm in Linwood Gardens. I'm like, oh. Long story short, I got locked up. They make sure I was cool, wrote me. Again, I tell everybody, every time I get locked up, when I'm in the streets, my mom find me. I don't write her, I don't reach out, she always find me. I don't know if she's got a tracker with me somewhere, Apple tag, I don't know what it is, but she finds out where I'm at. Like, she sends me some money and a note and give me a number and I'll call.
Your biological mom or your...
My adopted mom.
Okay.
That's the burglary. I came home on parole, on county parole, probation. Ran on that, back in the streets. This time now, I go out of town. I'm making money, like making real good money. So I'm out there for a good year and a half, good run, selling drugs. You know, I get locked up. I do a year because I'm on probation in Montgomery County. So the detainer dropped on me. I do a year, finally get bailed out. My man come bail me out.
Is that the longest you did that year?
Yeah, at that time. No, because the burglary I did in Montgomery County, I was in there for like a year.
Fighting it?
No, I copped out. I came home the day after New Year's, January 2nd, 2012. March, I go out, Bloomsburg, get money, trapping, get locked up. Like I said, detainer and all that, get bailed out. I get locked up 5 months later. Gun, drugs. Then this time I really got sit. I sit for 3.5.
Does your mom reach out to you once again?
Once again. Finds me once again.
Yeah.
They have superpowers. They know.
And this was, I think, but this was a different run for me though. Like, this was a run where it was going to either make me or break me. Meaning, it's either I was going to go back to the streets and
Really
continue to
snap
come
out.
back, or really come home and really go on the other side of the fence, as what I call it.
Yeah.
And I had boot camp. Boot camp helped me a lot. Even though I got kicked out, it helped me discipline. That's one thing I say about boot camp. It helped me discipline. You got to think about boot camp. You only eat 3 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
So when I
Gotta
got
work
kicked out
out.
and I went back to my home jail, I was able to survive.
I know who's not going to boot camp. I'm sorry, man.
Oh yeah, he'd have been home.
What? For my
I
freedom,
looked
I
over
would
and
have
seen
been
someone
there.
laughing. I'm like,
No,
he's
bro.
not going to boot camp.
He would have made it, but
You would have had to.
that taught me how to. That taught me how to. I don't have money like that, so I can't eat. I can't eat how I want to eat. I can only eat with these 3 trays or what somebody give me, or when I'm in the streets. Like now, I don't have a job, so now I have to patience, discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like that boot camp taught me everything. You know what I'm saying? It taught me for the real world. And it taught me like when you come home, you gotta change who you're around, your surroundings, your people, places, and things. I learned that for a fact. That's my biggest 3 things. You change your people, your places, and things you do. And you're gonna be
100%.
all right.
Yeah, my grandma tell me that all the time. Shout out to Sandy.
Shout out.
And that right there, I mean, I didn't lose. It was only my one friend that I just couldn't, like, we bumped heads, like, and that was my man, like, and, you know, like, he just couldn't understand, like, you know, we was home, when I was home, we was yin and yang. Couldn't see me without him. You see him, you see me. That was a fact. We thought we was real live brothers. Like, he thought we was, the whole time, we just real best friends. Like, mom took me in when I was homeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was 3 of them. I got 3 friends. All of them, single mom at home. And they all let me stay with them. And that meant a lot to me because I'm a grown man, 16, 17, I'm a grown man. I got kicked out of school. My mom and dad took me out of school. So I wasn't able to go back to, like, go to school now. So now I'm staying at your house with your mom during the day while you at school. And you're trusting me to be there when I could be anybody. I could be a rapist. I can try to rob the crib. But for you to trust me in your house while you at school, and you know, coming from an inner city when it's the mom and the son is like the man in the house.
Yep.
So for you to let me stay there and you trust me, that meant the world to me. So like
You're family. You're like family.
facts. And to this day, all three of them, we all like, well, two of them passed away. One of them was in jail, but their family is like my family.
So you do the 3.5 years, right?
3.5.
You come home on parole. What year is this?
2018, February 16th.
And you're how old at that time?
What I said? 28.
28. And you're like, I can't keep going down the same path.
Oh no, I couldn't.
So what was your game plan coming out the gates?
So my game plan is, so I had my little brother was home, and he was living with mom and dad. He said, bro, your PO about to be sweet. He's sweet. Like, he don't do nothing. I'm like, yeah. So once I got that, then I see an old head in there, he's 60, with a walker. I'm like, oh no. I'm not being 60 in here. Walking around, they tell me go to bed. Oh no, I can't do that. So that made me like, no, I can't. I'd rather go home. I'd rather go home, get a job, and still get all the girls, still get all the money, and do the same thing y'all doing, just in the streets. I'm just legally. You know what I'm saying? So I had to relearn that. And back to what you said, you know, when I was younger, I feel like if I would have had that, I never would have probably went to the street. I probably would able to balance home and the streets.
Well, I think it comes down to what, like, you could say the streets are outside or around the people, but it's like, what are you indulging in that's going to have a risk to it, to where your freedom's justified, your relationship with your family's justified? Like, what are these actions that you're doing that, like, have to get cut out? So your life, I look at it as your life is, you are where you are as a result of what you're saying yes to, what you're saying no to. Bottom line, do I got to get up at 6 o'clock? Yes. Do I got to hang on this corner? No. Do I got to go to work? Yes. You're driving in traffic. It says a yellow light. Do I stop? Yes. Like, or do I go? Yes. Whatever your decision is, yes or no. Everything comes down to yes or no. Do I spend this money? No. It's the discipline of making the right decision at the time. So I feel like when now you're home, you're getting a temptation to go to the street. No. Now you're holding, you know, yourself accountable to your future.
I mean, and I know, like, I'm on parole, like, so just I can't go back to jail, like, not for nobody, my homies, nobody, like,
you burnt your hand too many times on the stove.
Right, and I'm telling, and I, you know how, like, again, and then as a parent, you're trying to tell you, yo, don't touch that stove, that's hot. Or so when I came home, I said, yo, I gotta get to my homies. My one friend said, bro, I gotta get to him. Like, he never really been in jail. I don't want him to end up in jail or eventually passing away. So it's like, if I can get to him and really, you know, show him, like, bro, this is not what it is, bro. What you doing right now, bro, this jail is not.
Was he selling drugs or something? Was he doing illegal activities?
Right, and it's just, in
and
the
you
same,
were trying to save
he
him?
just was in the same spot where I left at. I did 3.5 years. And he was still doing, ain't like I came home and you up, Al Capone, you run around, I'm picked up in the Bentley, you know, no, you still in the same spot. You just in Philly now. You just you back home. So I feel like if I can, I'm a friend that I'm gonna try to reach out to you and try to talk to you. I'm not a friend that's gonna let you just do anything. I want to be able to try to get you. No, bro, we're not on it. Let's try to do this. I'm saying.
See how the roles change now? Like your mindset changes, and now you were like the follower, now you're the leader,
right?
And now you're
Facts.
trying to and then you're trying to like show other people like, hey, this is what I learned. I learned this the hard way. You don't have to do 3.5 years. Just listen to me.
Right.
And it's always better for the people that learn from your mistakes than our own. You know, like that's a big advantage in anything in life, business, and everything else that you do.
That's a fact. It's definitely. And you know, we was beefing. I'm saying it was an unpleasant friendship. I'm saying because he wanted me this way, and I'm like, no, I'm determined to be this way. So it was just like the way I tell everybody, the way he felt when one of our other homies passed away, is kind of how I felt when he passed away. He felt like they never got the chance to really settle, not even a beef, but like differences. They died on kind of bad terms.
Yeah.
Right.
So with me and him, even though we was cool, but I still felt like we could have been better. And I just wanted him to understand, like, bro, I just want you to see, like, look where we've been through, and you still here to change, and I'm already changing. I want you to change with me, and it just wasn't, that we didn't align at the same time. Unfortunately, he passed away.
How did he end up passing, if you don't mind?
He was out of town. Crazy, just out of town. He try to get some money, and unfortunately, somebody that's around him killed him.
Wow.
Shot him in his head. Shot him and another person in the head.
And see, like, you see that outcome because now you become wiser, as you can see with
Could have been you
clearer vision.
if you were with him.
And
You didn't change.
And the last thing the last words we said to each other was, we were together. He dropped me off, and he said, and this was April. I remember it was April 11th. I remember the day, 2020. He's like, yo, bro, I need you one more time, bro. One more run. I need you, because anybody know me. We was getting it. It wasn't no. I don't play when it comes to money. We gonna stack it. So he knew, like, I was the one to really get us over that hump. And I'm like, nah, bro, I'm cool. Like, I'm working. I'm still on parole. I can't afford to mess up what I got going on. I got my own spot and all. I can't. I'm saying it was unfortunate that, he had to take the route he took and that way he ended.
Unfortunately, too, like, a lot of us don't get it, bro, until we actually go through it and see what it's like ourselves on the other side. And then it's like, oh, this is what it's like. You know what I'm saying?
I tell you, but I remember, like, for instance, like, when it comes to females, right? I know people are not in shock when they do certain things. To this day, I get in shock. It could be the dumbest stuff. I'm like, she did that? Because when you in the streets, you're not worried about what they're doing. You're just trying to in and out. You know what I'm saying? You're not really trying. You're not seeing what they're doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it. You just got the number, talk to them once or twice, spend some money on them. You got them, and you out. So now that I'm a citizen and I'm working, now I'm talking to these females and they doing. I'm like, dang. See me some of this whole time, I feel like I was blind to, like, what was going on in the world. I'm like, dang, the whole time this was going on out here.
It's deeper than what you were
right.
seeing before, yeah.
My eyes open and I'm like, wow, I'm on the other side of the fence now. I can really see what's going on, and I can really, you feel me? So I tell people I wish I was able to get to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was just able to listen because he had potential and other things besides the streets.
So with that, you regret not being able to get to him, and don't let that die down, though, because there's still other people out there that you might not have a relationship with him, but like how you're coming on here, sharing your story on this platform. This is going to see thousands of people are going to see this, and then still take it upon yourself. I would, to still put your story out there, or the changes you had to make, and continue to live for him. So there's someone else that's like him that you still are able to get through to.
No, like, I know I haven't seen his son in a minute or his daughter in a minute. I'm saying got a lot going on myself, but even just with kids in general, my son, my man's locked up son, any kid I'm around, I try to be the best version of an adult for them. I'm saying, because, some kids don't have that father or that uncle or that brother or that mother. I'm not a mother, but just show them that adult, the
Positive influence,
right,
the right role model.
And they can see it's coming from somebody like me. I'm saying, like, listen, bro, I've been through it all. I've been shot in the midst of it. I've been shot as well, and I'm still here to talk about it. So for me to be what I've been through, and for me to come here and tell you, like, it's possible. It's possible for you to stay patient.
It's crazy that you just mentioned getting shot. Like, that's not the most traumatic thing that happened to you, and it's just like, oh, I got shot too.
I got shot.
It's crazy.
I got shot 2 years ago, outside my house, just about to go get in the car, and the guy that was out there he just got beat up. Somehow, long story short, come outside, they try to shoot through me. You ever see like the movie Wanted when they curved the bullet? I feel like they was trying to be on that type time, but it didn't work. And I was just a shield. I got shot twice, leg and thigh.
Were you the target they were trying to hit?
No, they were trying to hit somebody behind me.
Okay.
And I tell everybody, like, it could have got worse if they were smarter. Like, I could have been dead. Because if they would have walked, Woody walked down on us because it was a blind spot that we didn't see them coming.
Just getting shot once.
Then
Like
I
you
see the
could
bullet.
almost died.
I seen the one bullet go in, like, it was and I looked, I'm like, it's a bullet going inside of me? And I took off. I didn't know I got shot in my leg until I stopped.
Yeah,
and I looked
adrenaline
down.
was rushing crazy.
But I tell you about it, it wasn't even the pain of the bullet. It was the shockness of I got shot because I'm not into anything. I'm not into the streets.
This should have been 5-10 years ago if I should have got shot.
That's why I say, why I ain't get shot back then? Like, I'm doing everything back then. I'm out here just smoking my weed and chilling. Like, so I tell you about it wasn't the pain of me. It was just like, what?
Surprised.
I got shot? Like, to this day, I look at my leg, I'm like, how really got shot? Behind nothing. Like, even when the cops came to ask me, like, do you know who did it? No. Like, not saying, like, I really don't know who did it. I really didn't even look and not in that direction. That's like, I shot, just took off. So they like, we know you have a extensive background. We know. And I'm like, bro, I'm not even into anything. Like, trust me, there'll be no retaliation coming. I'm not into anything. So,
That guy died.
yeah.
That old guy, who you were.
I'm saying, so just like, yeah, I ain't.
But now that you get older and you look back on all those different phases of life, it's crazy as shit, isn't it?
But I always ask people older than me, like, that really been here, and they see what's going on in the world. And I ask them, like, what's your intake on the world now? I mean, we've been through, what's that word I'm trying to say? We've been through phases, but for somebody that's older, like, y'all been through, you've seen it all.
A whole bunch.
You've seen it from.
They made it up. They were the ones ahead of us. It's like when you said, like, your mom was like, she knew, like, mysteriously how to find you. Dude, don't play it. Like, she knew where you were. It's like when my kids are not in the house. Not saying I have a tracker on them. I was 18 once. They were not 47. There's a difference. Like, your mom was 50 once. You were not 50 yet. So, like, she's been there. We have when we look at our parents, it's the best version of life is, besides your traumatic story from the gate. But, like, if you look at your foster parents, they didn't do no wrong. If you think about my parents, and then you, like, have it, you're like, yeah, they did this, they did that. But realistically, they probably did everything. Like, they knew, they know all these, they made up half of these things that we do,
And you get, like, like you said, they older and they've been through it all. So, when you're young, like, you think that you're getting over on your parents.
But we think we're doing something
You
new.
swear you're doing something new, but like, even when I see my son now, he's 3 years old, and, like, he had dropped something, or he was doing something and he dropped it. And I come in, he's like, Dad, I ain't do that, Daddy. I ain't do that, Daddy. And I'll turn around like, well, who else did it, son? He said, I don't know. But just that, he think he getting over, like, think, oh, Dad, you're not. So just like, no, bro, I'm happy that I was able to at least learn something from them, because I still had it in me the whole time in the streets. I still had whatever they taught me the whole time. I didn't lose it.
So how's your relationship with them to this day? Do you talk to them, or
I just talked to my pop Monday, talked to my mom.
still a principal?
No, he's retired.
Okay.
They retired. They moved away. But my mom was she's still working, but everybody doing good.
Moved away. Are they not in Montgomery County no more,
No,
or
they're in Virginia.
they moved to Virginia?
Yeah, they down there. My 2 sisters down there. My aunt was down there. So it's only a few of us up here left in Philly.
Would you go down there or no?
Not where you live at. Hell no. Hell no. I love them to death, but I'm not. I can't.
It's too royal of an area. You were saying earlier, right?
It's
Half
just-
hour to get the mail.
It's too quiet.
You want to go there just to see them and visit them?
Of course, I do that all the time.
But not live.
Ooh, no. Now, unless I really had to, I would. But, like, No, I can't just like, Mom, come down and live with y'all. No.
So it's crazy to think, right? The first, let's say we live to 80, like the first half of your life was like filled with trauma, drama, self-inflicted, negative things that happen, and then now you got a little bit of control, and you're in a position where I feel like you're more level-headed, you're thinking more clear, you're making better decisions. How like hopeful are you that the second half of your life is going to be totally different than the first half of your life? Being the person you are today.
I'm always thinking about, being I have a son now, I'm always thinking about, like, I want to get to that age to see my son. I tell you about, if I make my son turn 18, I'm happy. I'm truly happy. You know what I'm saying? Because I know everything that I've been through. So now, on this side, on this run, I'm more, like you said, I'm more aware, I'm more woke of what's going on around me, especially now I have a son. So I definitely got to be more, on point of what I do and how I do it, because I know I got somebody really watching me. So I'm hoping that my second half is my best half.
Yeah.
Drama-free, self-inflicted, drama-free. I'm saying, like, I know how to say no. My mom taught me that the best thing to say is no. The best word in the whole world is no. Because
it's hard to say no, though, sometimes.
It's hard to say no, but it's best to say no. When you with your friends and you say no, and you know you did something right, it feel good. Like, let's say, like, they about to go out, something happened, and they're using the crib, you like, damn.
I was right, I knew it.
That felt good. Like that felt good for you to say no. Sorry it happened to them, but better them than me.
Does your circle change? Does the circle get smaller so you have a son? Mm-hmm. I guess your activities change a lot. You might see more of Chuck E. Cheese than the corner, right?
I'm talking about even before my son came, when I came from jail, I don't go to the bars. I don't go out. I don't hang on the corners. I'm not hanging nowhere. So when I got shot, it was like, I don't even hang nowhere. And that made me even more, I definitely don't go out. I don't go to my friends now. Like
people, places, and things. That was a place thing when that happened.
Like my cousin, Saturday was the Canelo fight. I live near 5th Street Lounge. He said, yo, you want to go in there? I told him no. Not because I just didn't want to. He's like, bro, you always in the crib, in that room. I'm like, bro, I feel like when you've been in jail, you get that peace by yourself.
I love it.
You get the,
it's your safe place.
Right, you need to be around your
I need my
homies all the
thoughts.
time.
I need myself. I don't need anything else to feel fulfilled.
I tell everybody, I look at being in my room like the quarterback. When I'm in the room, I get to play the field. I get to do what I want to do, how I do it, when I do it. So if I want to go outside, now I know where exactly I'm going to go outside, or how I'm going to do it when I go outside. I feel like when I'm in that room, I can brainstorm and really get my thoughts together and really move how I want to move.
It's a beautiful thing. People don't realize it until they get removed from society. I think of that peacefulness, or that, like you said, playing quarterback. You're thinking like, I'm not getting interrupted right now. I can go here and turn on the TV, or I can go here and go on the computer, or I can get in the shower, and I don't have to have anyone else's energy dictating the way I'm going to act.
I think people find that in different times and places, though. It's not necessarily just jail. Like, if you get involved in, say, if you were drinking and you stop drinking, or doing drugs and stop doing drugs, and now all of a sudden you're doing yoga and you're zen, like, you find your moment. It doesn't necessarily...
No, I'm not saying
certain
age. Yeah, I think
it's
definitely the age factor, but...
It's where he found it at.
My personal...
Yeah, he found... Yeah, no, I'm saying more broader to everyone listening.
Oh, yeah, everybody else probably would get into, like you say, if you stop doing just
drugs,
cigarettes.
Right.
You're going to find, all right, bet I feel I didn't pick up this pack today. Just good. Or I didn't go outside with my homie today because I know he smokes cigarettes.
Yep.
It felt good. But I just happened to find mine, unfortunately, being locked down. And even when the pandemic hit, I was happy to be out. What? It was like being in jail but outside. I was playing the game. I was getting free money. I'm saying, like, what you want me to do?
Yeah.
Like, so it was just like I was able to be in a house and just not. So now that I'm older, like I said, I don't go out. I can drink in a house. I can listen to music in the house. I can party in the house for free. You know what I'm saying? Not spend no money. So just like I'm happy.
You make the most of it. It's like when you're in jail too. Like you make the most of that cell or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and get on the phone and come right back in. Or Sunday morning, I'm cleaning my cell. I'm turning the music up. They let you keep your door open. You mopping. It's like I'm in my. You cherish it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So once I came home, it was just like, no, I know for a fact, in order for me to stay home, in order for me to stay on the straight and narrow, I gotta
Isolate yourself.
be able to say no and be able to. But the circle that I have around me, the people that's around me, I can say that everybody's positive. I don't have nobody that's around us robbing, stealing, us in the streets doing something crazy. Like I can say everybody around me has a child or is working.
Man, you went full circle. So from 5 years old in the basement
To 30, then to 35.
to 35, and it's almost like that line in the sand, fresh start, new life, new family. Sounds like you're on the right path now of picking up and doing all the right things and living a nice, clean, no look over your shoulder life.
Yeah, that's just, like I said, when I seen that 60-year-old in jail, walking around with a cane, with a walker, and that was kind of my biggest influence
It's an aha moment, right?
to like,
Yeah, that's
to like,
it.
no, I gotta go home and change.
We all have that aha moment.
Like it was, and knowing I couldn't do what I want to do. I couldn't go outside, get money. I couldn't do none of that. And that was
Right.
like, no, I can't be 60, 70, 80 in jail. They talking about mainline. And I'm the last one in the main line because I got a walker. No, I can't.
Get a wheelchair pusher
Right.
signed to
So
you.
that was my main thing.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, you get a job as a wheelchair pusher. If you're younger, you got to push the older guys around.
And don't fall, because if the golf cart come out and they charge you, what, $75,
To pick
probably
you up on
more,
the
to
golf
pick
cart.
you up,
Really?
take you to medical? Yeah.
Man, you
Yeah.
have an interesting story. We've had an opportunity to talk to quite a few people so far, and this one is by far, I think, the most unorthodox.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And,
Like you can't even make this up.
yeah, it's
Hopefully, you continue to share this story. I think it's a great story. I think it shows that you can still create a better life no matter the cards you were dealt. That's what people always say, right? Like, I didn't have the best cards dealt. Not saying that people had your cards. Not a lot of people do have great cards, but you're able to at some point realize like I'm kind of in control of this thing, and then you can start making changes like you've done.
Yeah, no, I just hope the reason why I share my story, like I said, is because not necessarily somebody's going through what I've been through, but similar, and probably don't have a voice or don't know who to go to or and don't know how to even express it. 'Cause I wish I had somebody when I was younger, when I went through it, just talk to me. I didn't know how to get it out. Like I went through, therapy, all that, but that didn't.
And it's crazy because from the outside looking in, and I just seen you walking down the street, I wouldn't even, you know what I mean, think anything ever happened to you, being shot and tortured basically, and going to prison. Like
I think, and that's what me smiling and bitten. That's what keeps me going. Like to be able to smile and be happy. Like
Laugh from crying.
because I know what I've been through. So for me to be right here, to able to laugh, you can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody take that away from me. I've been through so much. So for me to be here, like, oh yeah, bro,
it's a great outlook.
you did it.
I mean, you made it.
Yeah, it's a great outlook,
made it.
man.
And I hope you inspire others to make it.
That's my whole point
Seriously,
of
man.
telling my story is to, like I said, touch somebody. Like the world we live in now is too crazy. We losing a lot of young people. You know what I'm saying? So if I can be, the kids look up to somebody. So if I can be a kid somebody that they see tattoos and like, oh dang, I was in the streets, I've been shot, played with guns, sold drugs, did everything you could think of. And I'm here to really been in jail.
And why do you think I'm not doing that now, today? There's a reason I'm not doing that, right?
And so if I can touch somebody and
Yeah, you
Such
got the
woman.
camera right now. What would you say to like a younger kid right now that's 15, that's 18, thinking about doing what you were doing? Let's wrap this up with your positive words of when I'm gonna play this probably on YouTube in the beginning, and then on Instagram and like a reel that like you can get through to someone right now. What would you tell them?
If I
15 years old.
If I can tell a 15-year-old, 16-year-old something right now, be patient, because it might be hard now, but later on it's gonna get better.
Excuse me.
Always be a leader. You got a lot of people that's following everybody else. People that want to, no, bro. We're not on that. That's something that it's cool to be by yourself. It's cool to say no. It's cool to not follow. Yes, listen, bro. Just stay patient. Yeah.
You don't gotta follow the crowd. Like,
Don't be a follower.
don't be a follower.
Please don't be a follower. Stay your own lane. Do what you know how to do. Do what you know what's good for you.
Yeah.
Don't do it because your homie's doing it and no, bro. Do what's good for you.
Crazy, like the being cool and the influence. Like
Like,
you wanted to go to the movies, or you wanted to wear the Jordans because that's what you seen, and that was cool.
I had seen some on Instagram, and they had last thing, and they said, it's like people wake up to, like, it's cool to die. Like, people wake up like, yo, say I want to die. Meaning they want to go out and shoot anybody, or they want to get shot. Nobody wakes up like, I want to wake up and get some money.
I want to live.
I want to live. You wake up and just straight want to die. And it's sad. So, like
We live in a negative world. That's why if you watch the news, it's on for an hour. 58 minutes of it is who got shot, who got this, where the car accident was. It's not good stories.
If you think about music, what's getting the most views? Probably a beef right now. We're talking about street shit, drugs, or being on the corner.
Yeah, people love
Positive,
it.
you know, positive rappers or positive music isn't getting played like that.
And that's the sad part about it, because a lot of these younger guys don't even realize that they're not valuing their lives.
They don't even know
You know what I'm saying?
They don't know what they're really getting into.
Yeah.
Like, when you hit that jail, it's different, bro. Once they tell you got life, I never had life, but once they tell you,
Can't come back from it.
Like, I
And
feel
you
like
can.
you-
It's
you really are losing your life to life.
It's crazy.
It's like it's a game. Like they gonna live again. That's how they carry it in the industry.
yeah, you live again in there, and that ain't living.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I want to thank you for coming today. We're crunching on some time, over an hour here. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you sharing your story. Stay in touch. I definitely want to, anything I could do to help and get your story out there more, and you know, hopefully you prosper 10 times from here.
We'll definitely have you back on for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, off record. See what we can do to help each other out too, with the
No,
community and the younger kids and stuff.
Anybody watching this, if you do anything for the community, I'm willing to help. That's my biggest thing right now. Like, I'm willing to come out and talk to the youth, help the community. They need it.
How can people contact you? Social media or anything like that?
Social media. I'm
Go pull it up.
on Instagram. Let me see. You can follow me on Instagram at L.K_215. I also have my own carpet cleaning business. You can follow that page at Wise Carpet Cleaning LLC. I also have a family moving business with my uncle, P&B Residential Services. So if you need, moving, clean outs, anything done, hit me up.
Well, it kind of goes hand in hand real quick, because if you're helping them move out and they're going to sell the house or rent the house out, they're going to want to clean the carpets. Or if they're going to move in a house, they're going to want to clean the carpets. So yeah, anyone who needs any carpet cleaning, move outs, contact them.
Get with my guy.
All right. Excellent service, respectful, always on time.
Honestly,
We're
I'll
early.
tell you that.
We're early.
We're early, yeah.
Or on time, early, always early. So please,
Hey, thanks for coming, man. I
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
it.
Thanks for
Great
showing,
interview.
bro.
Thanks for the
I
story.
appreciate y'all. Yes.
Thank you, buddy.
It's a wrap.
Yes.